joining us here today on Desertwood Days, and I am your host, Kathy Blaze. Today I am here with the lovely Chris Manola. Welcome.
Hi, Kathy. Thank you so much for having me here.
Such a pleasure, such a pleasure. I am loving that forest green.
Oh, thank you so much.
Beautiful, beautiful. It's that time of the year when all the rich colors are coming out.
Yes.
Yes. Well, thank you for joining us. What have you been working on lately, Chris?
Well, the last film I was in is called The Vortex Voices. And it is a film, it was set in 1973 about a cult. And as with a lot of cults, things go horribly wrong for a
Right.
lot of people. But we had a great time filming it. And I'm probably one of the the film I'm most excited about being in, I would say.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
I'm sure you had to research and pull a lot of different emotions and different things out of yourself.
Well, I did. And in fact, I read a lot about cults. I read a book, a fiction book, but it was about living in a cult. So I kind of had an idea about it. And in the movie, it's not all bad. I mean, there's things,
Right.
we're a family, and there's things we did in the film as a family. So
Hmm.
there's a good side of it, there's a happy side of it, and then of course there's a very dark side of it too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Chris, before we even go back to your movie,
hmm
when did Chris decide that she wanted to get into the acting business?
Well, it actually started in a disco in 1979.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It was a disco called the Turning Point, and the DJ at the time was a new movie producer, and he wanted to do a movie, and I got asked to be in it. It was called Born to Be Alive,
Okay.
and so that was 1979. But things were so different back then. There was not the internet. I really wouldn't have known
Uh-huh.
what to do next. And then this is in Illinois. We moved to Arizona. Life got in the way, and I really never got to do anything.
Uh,
Fast forward to 2018, I'm back in my little hometown of Crete, Illinois, and the
hmm.
same producer is filming a movie right in the little coffee shop right in town. And so I had an opportunity to also be in that film.
Wow.
And yeah, and then it really,
And how many years apart was that?
oh gosh, from 1979 to 2018. Yeah, so it
Wow.
was,
That was meant to be.
yes, it was meant to be. And so then I just decided, boy, I love doing this, and I need to do it back in Arizona where I live because I can't just
Yes.
go to Chicago and do films.
Yeah. So
So
when Chris was in acting, what was she doing during those times
you mean once I started back
when
into
you
it?
weren't acting?
Oh,
What
when I
were
wasn't acting, I was
yes.
managing commercial real estate. I
Okay.
managed office buildings very similar to this. So I did
Okay.
that for 35 years, and I just recently left that field to create a little bit more space for new things to come in, and hopefully acting
Of
things. Yeah,
course.
yeah,
Of
yeah.
course. So you didn't you met this director in a nightclub, you said.
Yes, he was the DJ. Yep.
Right. So before that, had you had any other experiences of family members or anyone else that may have inspired you to get into the industry?
No, not at
No.
all. No, my family was very analytical. My dad was a chemist. My mom was a mathematician. So there wasn't a
Okay.
lot of art in our family. So it was just something that called to me.
So it was something. I think we all need a little art in our lives.
Yes.
I mean, to create that balance. I
Yes.
think we need to have some of that. So if you were to say if during that time, were there any actors or actresses that you would say that I won't say not inspired you, but they were some of your favorite actresses during the time?
I really can't. I honestly don't spend a lot of time watching television and even going to the movies because my real estate business was so, and my career was so encompassing, and
Uh-huh.
raising a son and my husband and everything. So not really, no. I'd say a favorite of mine recently is Rami Malek in the Queen movie that he did. That was wonderful when he played Freddie Mercury. I think
Okay.
he did a fantastic job with that, but that's, much more recent than over the 80s and
Sure,
90s.
sure. So this is something that you plan on pursuing more of?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it's in my blood. I won't stop.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. And I love that because I really love to speak with our mature actresses about the industry
Mhm.
because we hear so much that people say, "Oh, I'm too old to do this," or "I can't do this" for whatever the reason. So I love when our mature actresses are here to say how much they love the industry and how much they're doing in the industry. So thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, it's definitely not just for the younger girls or
No,
guys. No, there's room for everybody.
there sure is.
Yes.
There sure is. So, as an actress that's just starting, are you receiving any training, or is there any plans to receive any
Mhm.
training?
Yes, I was at Deering Acting Studio. I kind of took a break when COVID started,
Uh-huh.
and then got busy with other things. But I definitely plan to get back into training because I don't care what level you're at. I think training is very important.
Oh, that is very true.
Yeah.
Some of our ones that we call A-list actors still train, and that is one thing that we have to get in the heads of our aspiring actors. It's not just jumping in and just going and shooting to the top. You have to continue to train. So I love that. We were talking about your movie, The Vortex.
Hmm.
So I know you brought us some media today.
I did. Yes.
Okay, so we're going to take a look at that. I'd like to see, you brought some pictures also with you.
Yes.
Let's take a look at that.
Okay.
Can you tell us what we're seeing here?
Right here is, without giving away too much of the plot, these are two gentlemen that you see kneeling down are about to be sacrificed. And to make it extra weird, we are circling them, holding hands, and singing a very upbeat, fun song. We, as the family, don't see anything wrong with sacrificing people. And we think
Oh,
we are sacrificing their energy to the vortex, is what's
oh,
happening.
okay. So was this filmed here in Phoenix?
No, it was filmed up north. We were somewhere near Young. We were so far remote. I actually can't tell you where we were.
Oh,
It was about an hour and a half from any kind of civilization. And the wonderful part about it, we stayed on set for 5 days.
oh, okay.
And the really wonderful part for me, especially having just ended a 35-year busy career in real estate, is there was no cell phone service.
Mm,
So we were fully enmeshed, and we actually lived on the set. So we were fully enmeshed in the whole thing. And so that really brought another element, another level to it.
you know, when you're doing something like that, you're really becoming that character.
Yes.
What was that feeling like for you?
It was kind of amazing. We did start to feel like a family after a while. Me and the other girls, we actually bunked together. There was three
Mhm.
of us in my cabin. We ate all our meals together. So after a while, it really did begin to feel like a family. Of course, we didn't feel the dark side of it because it was, that part is not real. But the family
Uh-huh.
part of it, the bonding part you see in the movies, it was happening. It was real for us, and that was so wonderful.
So you said you didn't feel the bad part of it, and how was that you didn't feel the bad part of it?
Well, I think we were all very aware that it was, we're just acting, and we would do our little scenes, but the good part, the bonding as a family, happened all the time on or off set. And the bad part, there are, obviously there's sacrifices going on quite a
Uh,
bit, and there's a lot of, without giving too much of it away, there is a lot of things that are very unfortunate that happen
mhm.
to people outside of the family. There are people
Okay.
that would like to become part of the family, but maybe are not deemed worthy to be in the
Mm,
family.
mm,
Um, so things don't always go so well for them. But so, like anything in life, there's good sides and bad sides to the family.
right.
Yeah.
So is this a feature film?
It's a feature film. Yep, it
Oh,
sure is. Yeah. Yeah.
okay.
Jason Allen is the producer. He was incredibly wonderful to work with. I mean, 5 days for anybody is a lot. And he had a lot on his plate and a lot of responsibility. And I mean,
Right.
not only did he produce the film, but he and his wife Gucci, they fed us 3 meals a day and they were wonderful meals. So,
Right.
but we still only had a short time. I mean, we had 5 days and then we had to be done.
Right.
A lot of it was filmed outside. So as you know,
Yeah.
the sun and the clouds and it can all
Hmm.
play into it.
Are they local producers?
Yes, yeah,
Oh,
yes. He's done
okay.
quite a few feature films. He's a wonderful filmmaker. So I
Okay.
was so pleased to be included in
So
this.
was this I want to say fiction, or was this written about
It
someone?
was fiction, but it's based on like the Manson family and Heaven's Gate and all those cults you heard of back in the 70s. Yeah, and
Okay.
we actually were all asked to do a little bit of research so we kind of understood the mindset of the cult members and
Sure.
how, if you don't get into it, you're like, how could anyone do these things? But
Mm,
you can understand maybe the brainwashing and the
right.
isolation.
Well, again, like you said, if you're really becoming that character, as you said you were, and that's what we do when we're acting, of course you're going to see what they want you to see.
Yes.
Okay, that is just a good side. I mean, the love, like you stated, all the love that was there. And that's what you stated. There were you guys felt like a family, and that's what they feel like. What they want you to feel like being in a cult. You're a family, and they're going to
Yes.
share that love and want you to feel that, even though there's a lot of things going on and that they don't want you to see or even realize what's going on.
Hmm.
So I get what you're saying. That is interesting.
Yeah, it was the most interesting project I've worked on for all the reasons we just discussed.
Wonderful. Okay, so why don't we take a look at the clip?
Great.
To the vortex.
You know, it's been a while for you and I, Starry. I've missed you.
And I've missed you, Earth Prophet.
Shall we study Mother Earth together?
Let's.
Okay. Wow. Can you tell us a little bit about what was happening in that scene right there, Chris?
Yes, a part of what happens within the family is there is a rule that the only people that can have relations, only the women can have relations with Jonah, the Earth Prophet. He gets all the women; no one else can have relations with them, and so we see it as giving our energy and our love
Mm-hmm.
to the vortex through Jonah, the Earth Prophet, and it's
Oh.
really just his evil plan to have all the women for himself, and he
Mhm.
does. And some of the women go along with it, and some of them are not so happy to go along with it. And so that's part of the story. I won't give away, but that's what was happening in that scene. I was chosen for that day
Right.
to give my energy to the vortex in a loving way.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was a fun scene. It was actually a very fun scene to film. Yeah.
So how many did actors was there in total on here? Do you know?
I think there was about 10 of us or so on
Okay.
set. Yeah, there's more women in the cult, and then we had
Uh-huh.
Jonah, and then we had some other guys that were involved with it, and Saul, who's the main character, and then other people that had smaller parts because we killed them.
That's
So yeah,
that's interesting.
yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a movie about a cult like that. I mean, you've heard about it, but I don't think I've seen any local filmmakers that's created films about cults here that I've seen. So I hope to see it when it comes out.
It's a pretty interesting topic, and then if you do more back stories on the Manson family and all that, you kind of it really sets the tone for seeing the movie. So yeah,
Yes, yeah.
it was great.
So Miss Chris Manola, you've done this big role that you've enjoyed. So is there this dream role that you would like to see yourself in next, or you have any new projects that's coming up?
I do have a smaller project coming up called Dakota, just a very brief little role. So I'm really hoping, I'd like to get something with, a little bit of a meteor role, and I don't
Uh-huh.
know what that will be. Obviously, I just kind of keep my eyes open for opportunities to audition for it.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. So where do you see yourself in about 5 years, or where would you like to see yourself as 5 years in the industry?
I would like either, like I said, a bigger role, or maybe something like a television show that's a reoccurring role, so I can really get into it, really get to know the cast and the crew, and just have all of that, the perks that come along with that, the camaraderie of working with people for a longer time than just
Right.
coming in for, a day or 5 days as you do with these smaller films.
Right,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So are you still working in real estate?
I just gave it up on September 1st. I did stop doing that again so I can leave some space open to do more
Mhm.
things. Like Monday I have an audition for a television commercial, and I typically couldn't have done that because it's 11:45.
During the daytime.
Yeah, so I would have to have passed up on that, and so no, I can just get there at 11:45 and not have to worry about being on lunch or whatever.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. So if it came about that there was a role as a real estate agent, would that be something that would be interesting to you?
Oh, sure. That'd be
Yeah.
easy. I would think it would be easy.
Yeah.
I did it for 35 years. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah. How would you describe? I know you're just getting started, but how would you describe your style?
Well, I think, I could be a business person. I could be a mom. I could be, just all of those kind of roles. I would like to do some dramatic roles.
Mhm.
Comedy is fun. I don't know that I have done a lot of comedy, but I think it would be a fun genre to be involved in.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. I was looking at your work in the film industry, and I've seen that you've done a few films. Could you tell us about one of your memorable roles or memorable films you've been a part of?
Yeah, I really am. When I first started out, one of my first films was called Desert Wolf, and it was Bo Yachty was the producer, and I was just a neighbor. I was kind of a little bit of a nosy neighbor, Mrs. Baker, and I don't get killed in this particular film, which is kind of nice, but everyone else does by these werewolves. But it was just a fun shoot, and it was probably how your first anything is sometimes your most fun.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Desert Wolf, and I sure hope to work with Bo again in the future.
Yes.
Yeah.
I tell you, well, this sounds better than my first one. We were ninjas.
Oh, you were a ninja?
And we were out this had to be in July in the mid heat.
Oh.
And we were at this huge house in the North Scottsdale. So we had to dive, but we had to do it right because then they were going to shoot us with this blood paint. So we had on white t-shirts, so we couldn't do it wrong, and because we had to preserve those t-shirts.
Yeah.
So that was a hard scene.
Oh, I would imagine a ninja. That's a good way to get started.
So once I finally died, it was like I died because probably fried from the heat.
That I could believe. And then the sticky blood.
Yes, yeah. But it was fun. It was a fun experience because as a beginning actress, it taught you that. I mean, you know what? This isn't just going in there shooting and having fun.
Yeah.
And going about your business. It takes work.
Yes, it does. It takes a lot of work.
It
And
takes
preparation.
and preparation and
Yeah.
studying. Yes. And even if you're a background extra or which is what we were,
Mhm.
you still have a role there.
Yes.
You're not there to just chit chat, take pictures or whatever. You still have a role to be prepared.
Yes.
And that is one thing I like to tell our aspiring actors is that it's not just going there, being on set and having fun. What advice would you give to an aspiring actor?
I would say one of the most important things you can do is network. Networking, I've gotten a lot of jobs just by sometimes doing background work, like I did on Prankster, and met a lot of great people because of it, and a lot of other opportunities have come up with it. I networked on Facebook and got cast in a pilot TV show called Strange Places.
Okay.
Yeah. Andy Rodriguez McCraddock is the producer, and the second episode airs tomorrow night at 7 p.m. 7 p.m. or 10 p.m. But in any event, that's how I got that role. So I was very excited to be
Oh,
on Strange Places.
congratulations.
Yeah, it's kind of Arizona's Twilight Zone. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Tell us about your role in Prankster.
In Prankster, I was just background. We were in a meeting, and during the meeting, the coffee machine just blows up in our face. And so Toy Taylor was great about putting coffee grounds on us, and it was just the worst feeling to have on your face. But it also was a little bit of an exfoliant, I think. But it was just a fun
Well,
scene.
they do use coffee grounds for exfoliants.
It would
Yes.
work. It worked. Yeah, but it was just a fun scene, and what was fun for me, I was only on set one day, but it was fun to see the camaraderie of that particular cast.
Yes.
I could tell they were having a great time filming that.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. So I
That's-
enjoyed that. Yeah.
That's great. And those are those experiences you take forward with your growth,
Yes.
is being able to be on scene and see how the other actors are acting with each other, the camaraderie that's between the relationship building that's between those actors.
Yeah, exactly
Yes,
right.
that's great. So, where can our audience find you?
Well, my IMDb page is Christine Manola. That's probably the best place to find all the work I've done. I'm also on Facebook. I mean, pretty much I accept friend requests from almost anyone in the industry or fans or whatever. I'm not one that is shy about sharing on Facebook.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, your next project.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about your next project?
I have a very small role. I play a psychiatrist. I don't know a whole lot about that. I've just been cast in it, so I don't have all the details.
Okay.
And then yeah, and then I'm just hoping there's a lot more. I've been working at Fear Farm, so I've been kind of busy with that, and I haven't really
That
submitted.
is one thing I want to ask you about also is your FearCon Scream, is that what it is called?
Scare acting.
Scare acting. Tell us about that.
Scare acting is so much fun. It's just this great little job. We Fair Farm is actually quite the place to go visit. We have 4 houses. We go every night. We get in makeup, and we are given put in our scene and told our backstory, and then really given a lot of latitude in how we play our character, and whether I've scared someone, whether I've made them laugh, whatever. I just want our customers, our guests, to leave with a smile on their face and having had a good time. But scare acting is it's exhausting.
I bet it could be.
It's very physical.
Okay.
Very physical, but it's a lot of
Is
fun.
it like going through one of the scary houses and someone jumps out and scare you? And okay.
Yeah, it's scare me. And then also I have a little dialogue I do because I'm kind of moving a story along. So
Okay.
I try to do a jump scare, and some people just want to be scared. Some people want to joke with me. And so if I see they really would like that rather than to be scared, I'll joke with them.
Right.
But really, I do like, scaring people's fun. Sometimes they fall down.
Oh.
I like when they fall down. Yeah.
It was such a pleasure having you here with us today.
Yes, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
we look forward to what's next for Chris Manola.
Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. And we thank you for joining us here today on Desertwood Days, and we will catch you next time. Bye.